Welcome to SibSpot. Today we've got more malicious compliance stories. I'll probably change it up for the future videos, but this topic seems to be a favorite. Our first story is from ambitious writer 825. In my house I pay. You follow my rules. That works for me too. When I was a kid, my parents used the my home, my rules phrase, period. I was told that when I have my own home and pay my own bills, I can make the rules. It drove me crazy, but can't argue with that logic. Years later, as an adult who was paying my own bills, my parents came to visit and wanted to stay with me. My mom smokes and expected to be able to do it in my home. Nope. I told her that just like when I was younger, they have to follow my house rules, and those rules include no smoking. I had chronic bronchitis as a child until I moved out of the house. If looks could kill, I'd be long dead. When I had my kid, I told her that not only could she not smoke near my baby, but she had to change her clothes if she wanted to hold the baby. She knew I was serious and gave up 40+ years of smoking. Smoking is a nasty habit for so many reasons. The smell is horrendous to people that don't smoke. And this poor guy had chronic bronchitis, likely due to the smoking around him as a child. Story number 2 was from Taxicab88. Just keep your head down. You got it, boss. This malicious compliance is currently happening. I've been working for a couple years for some Fortune 500 company in the US. I was hired on to do a job with creating training using a specific and rather niche digital adoption software that for some inexplicable reason took my 2 predecessors 40 hours a week or more to do. I had never even heard of it before getting hired, but it seemed like easy enough software. After a couple months, I could basically get everything handled for the week in about 3 hours, provided there weren't any emergencies. I started branching out into other technologies and responsibilities because my boss was fine with whatever I wanted to focus on, provided I ensured my main priority of upkeep on the software was done first. I found lots of ways to help out my coworkers and even invented a software program that really helped them automate some very tedious tasks. Fast forward a couple years and I've really done well with this random niche software. Been awarded highest honors at the time from the software company. Had case studies done about my work. Actually, single-handedly saved my company $20 million in production loss alone, according to the case studies. I say all that only to highlight how dumbfounded I was when my boss, who I like as a person but has never once given me a metric in my entire time here, said at my annual review that I did not exceed expectations, that I merely met expectations. Therefore, I was only entitled to a 2% raise that year. What? Can't you just give me a tiny portion of that $20 million I saved the company, instead of just giving that all to senior leadership's bonuses again? Also, even if I don't have metrics, I would think that if I did, saving $20 million, getting an award, and having a case study of my work all in 1 year just might put me even slightly above those expectations. Here's the second thing that bothered me. Remember all those extra duties I took on? Well, my boss wanted me to make those official. I said, great, let's figure out a job title salary that will incorporate those extra responsibilities. Initially, my boss was on board for that and asked me back in September to collect similar job postings for the role I was looking to move up to, interaction/UX designer. I gave my boss what they asked for and then waited. I followed up on it every time we had a one-on-one meeting, and my boss told me they were getting to it soon. For 4 months. I finally came right out and asked my boss what the issue was, because they weren't giving me any real direction on how to get to next steps for this role. My boss then informed me, it's tough times for the company, despite me literally editing a video from a CEO bragging about how revenue had never been higher, literally the week before. Boss hadn't even looked at the job qualifications I sent them. Boss never even checked to make sure we could make this position happen in the first place, which in my mind should have been their very first thing to do before saying we could go for it. My newly created metric would include these extra duties, to which I promptly gave a great big vocal heck no to and made them back down and remove them. I asked my boss about the next steps for this now unobtainable position if this was what the reality was. Then I was hit with this line. Just keep your head down this year, and maybe next year we can revisit this conversation. Keep my head down? ... Well, okay then. Cue the malicious compliance. I did keep my head down. Into job boards. I put my head down into job interviews when the opportunity to volunteer my time at work to help with extra things. Instead of offering up my help, you best believe I kept my head down. Remember how I worked on this niche software? Turns out it's so niche and hard to find experienced people that finding another better job wasn't hard at all. Put in my 2 weeks notice last week. Boss was dumbfounded. They are now panicking and asking me to do crash course knowledge transfer to others, as if they didn't already request this very thing multiple times to no avail for months. I think I'll just keep my head down instead for the remainder of my time. Boss's orders. I wish I had the skills this guy had to be competitive with his employment. It's awful when you're stuck in a dead-end job to have to pay the bills, and you get a performance review that bothers you and you feel like you can't just look elsewhere for employment. It can be a real downer. The third story is from Gold Carpenter 7616. Giving my daughter exactly what she wanted. Little disclaimer, my daughter is a wonderful kid. She's smart. She's also sarcastic. A couple of years ago, the Rona just started and my daughter was roughly 8 years old, 2nd or 3rd grade elementary school. She was really into salami pizza. I wouldn't allow more than once a week, obviously. So she got the idea of, in France, children get to eat everything they want 7 times a week. That is why they like it. Now, she got it all wrong. The saying goes they have to try a food 7 times before they can decide whether they like it. But I understood her wish. Salami pizza. Every day. She had this malicious little smirk of gotcha. I answered with the same grin. Okay, you'll get salami pizza the next week. Only salami pizza. Nothing else. She was hyped. Yay! All them pizza, her favorite frozen types, all of them. Monday morning rolls around. She gets salami pizza for breakfast. Fantastic. Best parent. Monday noon. Leftover from the morning. Monday evening. Time for the second pizza. I make some for the rest of the family too. Everyone enjoys salami pizza. Fun! Tuesday morning. Guess what's for breakfast? Exactly. Daughter asks for something else. I remind her of my promise. Salami pizza all day, every day for a week. Reluctant, yay! Tuesday noon, she skips the pizza. Tuesday evening, we're having something else while she chews on her pizza. It isn't as cool anymore, I guess. I eat her leftover pizza. Wednesday morning, she sneaks a slice of bread, but I stop her and heat her a salami pizza. She breaks down and asks me to stop. Lesson learned. Don't try to outsmart your parents. You might get exactly what you were asking for. Since then, she still loves salami pizza, but once a month is fine, really. Seems like a pretty good way to teach a life lesson to a young one. If you guys have never had salami pizza, it is one of my favorites. I haven't actually had it in years, but Pizza Hut used to make this really thin crust with Alfredo sauce salami pizza, and it was wonderful. I'm going to have to start coming up with a clever way to close these videos. But for now, until we meet again, have a great day.